Yeah, I'm having a flashback to that old quote that necessity is the mother of invention, but I've also heard other people turn it around and say invention is the mother of necessity. And so I think we're seeing a bit of that. And I was around for the dot-com bubble, and I was the CFO of a company called Luxury Finder. We were selling luxury goods on the internet in '99. And you saw, I think, a little bit of that as well. Mm-hmm. Everybody was excited. There were 18 different search engines before Google, and everybody was piling resources in there, but nobody was ready to use it. You know, nobody was really ready to use the internet to buy things and do these things. And so it crashed. And of course, you know, 5, 8, 10 years later, now everyone's using it.
Absolutely.
And so it feels like something very, very similar.
Something very similar. So I'm very bullish on it. I just think that we're in this interesting place, right? After kind of like where the technology is already amazing, but there's not much to do with it yet. And it's coming, right? There are people building it. We're building it. There are lots of people who are going to fill this technology with super interesting content, use cases, and just things to do with it. It's going to be great.
And you believe that art is potentially going to bring that next 1 billion users. And I want to ask you how, but I first want to say I'm having flashbacks to conversations I've had in this room, in that chair with Yatsu of Animoca Brands. And he always reminds us that culture is such a huge asset class that we forget about sometimes. And so, you know, everything that we wear and we do and we choose, if you think about all the products in your life, the actual utility of those things we buy is probably 1/10 of the cost we pay, but we buy a brand because we kind of want to express ourselves or express allegiance, and that's all that culture. And that value is all locked up in what we do. And if you separate it, it's a huge industry. And it's part of who we are as humans to kind of express ourselves and show our interest. And it reminds me a lot of what you're doing with art and live art. And I know Animoca's backed you guys. Mm-hmm. And so maybe I shouldn't be surprised by that. How do you believe that art is going to bring that next billion people in? And how are you guys going to be able to crack it? Because it's kind of the holy grail in this space, how to figure out art on the blockchain.
Yeah. First of all, it's definitely worth cracking. So it's just in itself, just art, you know, cultural goods in general, trillions and trillions of dollars in value, and as an asset class, if you'd like to use those terms. But just the art part of it is the $2 trillion. This is an enormous chunk. It's certainly worth cracking. But why? So why would that work? How would that work? And I think like everything else, you know, it'll come in stages. And some of those stages are already behind us and some are ahead of us. So let me give a few examples. So this NFT craze, that was the beginning, right? So that's when some of the very famous artists, some of them we brought to market ourselves, brought to Web3 ourselves. They chose to go into Web3. So why did they choose to go into Web3? I'm going to use an example. Yumin Jun. So it's one of the top 10 artists in China, one of the top 50 in the world, who, you know, is very, very successful, has been selling at Christie's and Sotheby's at $4 million, $7 million paintings, very successful artist. So why would an artist like this, you know, not just success, so actually, let me go back. How do we quantify the success of an artist? You could quantify it qualitatively, right? So in major museums, the art is just very, very generally recognized as iconic. You could also quantify it quantitatively, and we sort of specialize in that.
Hey, I know investing in crypto is scary. It takes a real leap of faith because there are so many scams, rug pulls, and bad actors out there. It's a dangerous business, which is why 95% of people lose all their money. Well, that's why I created the London Real Investment Club, so you can access the hottest deals on the planet and use the crypto bull market to create the generational wealth that you deserve. Join my team of over 100 people from around the world that are making millions of dollars behind the scenes investing in blockchain, AI, Web3 games, DeFi, Bitcoin, and more. Don't miss out. Click the link below to book a call with one of my team now. But hurry, this bull market will end soon.
Investing in crypto can be scary. That's why you gotta join the investment club. Pull the trigger. Let's do this.
Right. So we have a product called LiveArt Analytics that takes a quantitative lens at the art market. So you could view any artist like as if they were a brand or a company. You could look at an artist's market cap, which is the sum total of all of the artworks that that artist has sold based on the current prices, right? So that would be the market cap of an artist. So the market cap of Hume in June, for instance, is $150 million. So it's a very substantial market cap. You know, if this were a company, that would be quite a sizable company. You could do other things, by the way, and if you go to, say, our website, liveart.io, you will see, you know, for every artist, there is a market movement, there is a momentum, there are all the financial indicators that you would expect for any other asset class, except applied specifically to art.
You have a ticker at the top and everything.
We have a ticker on the
it's
top
kind of
as well.
AI powered. And are you guys the first to ever do something like that? I've never heard of a market cap for an artist.
As far as I know, yes.
Wow.
And the reason for that is a little bit subtle. Sorry, we're going on a tangents, but that's cool. I like tangents.
Me too. That's what real conversations are tangents.
Yes. So the reason that it's possible that we can do it and nobody else could is that you know, art fluctuates in value a lot. So you could have bought a Basquiat, say 20 years ago for, you know, $10,000, and now it would be worth $20 million. Made up numbers, don't check me on that. So it really fluctuates a lot. So if you just look at, and it also sells infrequently.
Right.
So if you were to just see what things have sold in the past and add them up, you would get a random number. That's not what it's about. It's about what all of those things that have sold in the past are worth today. So you have to mark every single piece of art that has sold in the past by a given artist to mark it as of today. And that's very difficult to do. So that's where all of that AI and machine learning comes in. So we mark everything that has ever sold, about 10 million pieces of art that have sold in the past, to mark it every day. And then out of that, we construct, you know, a pro forma price history of every painting, of every artist, of every price movement, and so on. So essentially, that's what enables it. And yeah, I believe we are the only ones doing it. But it's like, then the reason for that is that it's very difficult to come up with a current market value of everything that has ever sold. If you can do that, then you can aggregate it into various art-related products like indices and so on. But just doing that one thing is very difficult.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like that alone as a company would be extremely valuable.
Yes.
And that's one of many, many things you guys do.
That is true.
Right.
But it all has a reason, because, you know, I keep saying art is an asset class, art is an asset class. But what does it mean? Well, an asset class is something that trades, that in addition to having an aesthetic value, which art, or societal value that art clearly has, also has a commercial value, it has economic value. So that's what makes it an asset class. But if you want this asset class to be commercially active, then people are going to want to trade it. And if people are going to want to trade it, you want to have market data. Just like with any other asset class that gets traded, be that equity or real estate or whatever that the case may be, you want to have good quality real-time market data in order to trade that asset class. Yeah. So that's why we have the data product. Not just because we love data, which we do, but really to support all of it's the foundation of this edifice that sits on top of it, which is different things, different use cases that we can do with this asset class, in particular in Web3.
To continue watching the rest of the episode for free, visit our website londonreal.tv or click the link in the description below.